Hello again, everybody. Sebastian Gaines here with another Watch Our Realms video. In this one, I'm going to be focusing on Guild War battles, and this is a compilation of the battles that I carried out throughout the week as both my guilds, Forerunners and Global, faced different opponents. Now, I do have to say that both my guilds are very competitive, so they are in the Overlord ranks. So you're probably going to see some defense makeups that you're probably not going to see down in the lower tiers, but you never know. There may be a lot of Prairises in Plat 3. So I'm just going to play battles here. The one thing that I do want to make clear is I'm not going to show identifiers. I don't feel like I need to show you who is the person that I beat or the person that beat me or in what guilds we were going up against. All I want to show you is exactly what the makeup was of the defense that I was going up against and what my thought process was in terms of how I thought I could defeat it at the time. Okay, so here in this one here, we have Prairius, which seems to be the popular position right now for Prairius, is this tile here, down here, and Broker. And we know Broker is a very sturdy tank. It is very annoying to try to get around. We have Akira, Greed, and Esrin right here on the top. So first glance is, I know right away my Slaughterers and my Daggers probably are going to be slightly too weak to sustain to try to bring Broker down. So I decided I'm gonna try to bomb it and see what happens. See if I can take out both Prairius and Valkyria at the same time. So here I'm gonna slow things down a little bit. I'm going to hope that I get the timings correctly. So in this set here, we're just going to release one set of bombs, one set of spiders, and I'm going to speed them up. And I hope that when the spiders go through, or the bombs go through Broker, that they're able to take down both Prairius and Valkyria. Unfortunately, in this situation, did not. But all hope is not lost. We're still going to see send the lightning guards. And hopefully, by the time that they get there, they can take out Valkyria on themselves. Now, for this purposes here, I do have to say I got lucky because I thought I had double-clicked and carried out the second lightning guard. So my purpose here was to get two of them out. And then when I looked at the deployment cost, I saw I only sent one. So that kind of changed the deployment time of my epic flyers. But as you can see, at least they were strong enough to stomach some damage and they were able to take out the enemy, and I got through the core. So that was battle number one. Here is battle number two. Now in this one, it was one of those that I did try to go after Broker. And so here we have Eobar with Hollow, and we have Nyx and Silas down here. So my first thought was, I'm going to try to bait the ultimates and then semi-Slaughterers and Daggers and see if we can bring down Broker. So at the same time here, I'm hoping that my tank lasts long enough to at least trigger Broker's ultimate. So there it is. Broker's ultimate does trigger. Now here, what I'm going to hope to do is at least do enough damage so Broker's passive procs once and he becomes the brick. So that's kind of what I'm keeping an eye on. But right away I saw it looked like his ultimate build up really quick. But we were able to do enough damage there to get him to get into the ice mode again. And now I'm going to send my second one here. And I'm going to send my Daggers and Slaughterers out at the same time. Now here's the unfortunate part, and I'm already seeing the problem. But I was hoping that they possibly could make it there before Silas's ultimate is ready to go. And now I'm in trouble. I know right away here I'm in trouble. I probably, because I was so fixated on Silas's ultimate, I forgot to send in the healer. Maybe he could have helped a little bit. But at this point, I didn't hold too much promise. So I tried to send the dogs out before Silas took out everybody, and that didn't pan out. So that was a learning experience right there. So we just relayed that information to my guild, and I said, this did not work. You could try it if you want. Just make sure that you compensate for Silas's ultimate. All right, so that was a failed one. We'll go now to battle number 3. And then this makeup is something that we saw in the previous towers, on the previous map, I should say, where we tried to build up the Northerners. Now, this particular player decided to use Alahura here on the bottom tile. And I right away knew she wasn't going to do a whole lot of damage. So I decided to take advantage of that because this is really magic resistance heavy. And I knew unless Maul was built like top, lots of attack, I didn't think that he was going to be able to take me out too quickly. So this strategy here is what I like to do, is the build up is what I like to call it, in terms of just sending out anything that has a high magic resistance and just try to make sure that they kind of form a wall for you and they take up the tank. I kind of sent the healer here just to make sure that I didn't get any surprises from Maul. Sending the slaughterers as well, because if they can get past and take out Valkyria, even better. But here at this point, I'm kind of losing also track of the clock as well. So I think that based on what I'm seeing here with 40 seconds left, I should have released the Doggos before I released the other set of the slaughterers. But at this point, felt comfortable enough. See, so Maul still was able to slow me down enough where it kind of took a little bit, it took some time to get to the core and defeat it as well. So you can kind of see here, if I go back a little bit, how he was holding me back a little. So it was close, but we managed to get units to the core, and we were able to manage to get it down with 19 seconds. All right, so here in this one here is kind of a mimic of the one that we saw previously. So I'm going to kind of take the same approach, but this one now, just send the units out as soon as you have them, because we have Mary to contend with, okay? And Mary's going to slow us down. There's no question in that. So right now is, I'm just thinking, am I going to be able to get enough units built for me to send the dogs out and get past all those freezes and all those flowers here with Dahlia? So that's what you're gonna see me do, releasing everybody that I have. And in this case, I'm also bringing healers just in case. And you can kind of see everything kind of building up there as it goes. And this one got really close. This one got really close. Slaughter did get through, and we had one dog get through, and the Slaughter get through again, and we had 6 seconds left. But that's kind of the strategy there. You just have to, in this case here, you just have to make sure the units are able to sustain the onslaught from I guess here in this case it would have been the poisons for Dahlia and Valkyria, and then you just have to make sure the Doggos are also strong enough so they can get past all of this, and if they get frozen, then Valkyria doesn't take him out easily as well. All right, so battle number 5, I think, is in this one. Yeah, battle number 5 on this one. This one is it's kind of he tried to copy the nightmare composition that we saw a lot on the previous map. So you see Carnelian here in the back as the healer with greed, and he kind of then lined up Baron, Toreador, and Arrogance. Now, if Arrogance and Greed are built up really well, then I probably would lose this. There's no question on this. But I just decided to then use the strat to send my reliable epic tank to take on some damage, especially from Arrogance. So here we go. And now I'm just going to try to build up everything. I'm sending my destroyers in. I'm sending my healers out. I'm going to send a set of slaughterers as well. And here I was thinking about sending out my next set of healers, but once I saw the green health bars, I felt confident enough, so I sent out the next set of slaughterers. Now here's the thing that I'm looking for in terms of when I'm going to release the Doggos, is when Baron goes down. I'm looking for Baron to go down, or when we start getting into trouble. And then you can kind of see it there, Baron was getting into trouble, so I released the first set of dogs. And fortunately, a couple of them did get passed through, and that's how we beat that one, and we were able to get the win on that one. Okay, so in this one, it looks like we have a Regulus here. We have a Hollow in this platform covering everybody in here to make sure that they heal. Silas with Hex and Aracha. So when I saw this, is one of those things is I knew that if I could take down Regulus, that I could probably then get to this three over here. So I don't know if it was a tanky Aracha or not, but based on the BP when I first saw it, I said it probably is a hybrid Aracha, to be honest, and then they were hoping that Hex and Silas could do the damage back here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bait ultimates with the Pharaoh. Yeah, so this one I was running at 1x. So you can see Silas is very powerful, so he takes him down. But now what I'm going to send is one set of daggers, one set of slaughters. Now what I'm hoping is that at least I can tap Regulus once, get him out of his immunity, and then, given that we have Silas and Hex to contend with, that on the second round that I could send in the second set and bring those down. But as you saw, I was able to bring down Regulus fairly easy with the first set. So when I saw that, then I right away knew that with my Pharaoh kind of taking the first hits, that I could send the archers out, and then the archers would just finish things out for me, essentially is what it would be. The Doggos here is just extra, just to make sure that we can quickly get to the core and get this battle finished. Okay, so that was a successful run. Here on this one, battle number 7, if I remember correctly, it was kind of the same type of ideology that I had, but in this one I said Boreas here, his out going to be out of range, and Comet is going to be out of range for a little bit until I started getting close enough where I could get probably would activate ultimates, his ultimate at least. But given that we have the skeleton here, we do have a chance to kind of build things up a little bit. So that's what I decided to do. I'm going to start sending in units. Try to form a wall if at all possible. So here now, I'm starting to get a wall together. I'm going to send in the slaughterers just to kind of do, but because one of them did get into Comet's range, now it's Comet's ultimate is going off. Now, fortunately, we do have some units that have a little bit of magic resistance in them, so they're able to survive a little bit. So we kind of get in there. One get past, I think. Yeah, we did get one. So here, again, I'm just building the wall again. Ultimates are kind of done. So let's just send the Doggos in, and hopefully some of them do survive. And there we go. And the slaughterers got through when things just pile up. And then, of course, we were able to get to the core there. Now, if I would have seen that for one of my guildmates, I would have said, turn Cyrus around. Turn Cyrus around. Because then when you engage him and he's turned over, his defense will build up. It'll be harder to take him down, and now you won't also give me the opportunity to build things up in there as well. But Comet and Boreas together, unless you have I'm not a big fan of it. You need somebody else in there to do damage as well with those two. Just too much magic there. All right, battle number 8. Now here it was an interesting setup to begin with, because now I have Sarga to contend with, and then now I have Boreas and Proteus. So I was wondering how that was going to go. We know Proteus is going to do well. And then we have Esren here. But we have Regulus. So first I thought about trying to get through the air with it, but then I second guessed myself and I said no. So I just thought, I'm going to try to get to Regulus. And if I don't get to Regulus, then it's a lesson learned. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to send my Pharaoh out just to kind of build things up a little bit. Get those ultimates out of the way. And as soon as I see those orange bars go down far enough, given how quickly the ultimates were out, send the first set. So there goes the axes, there goes the daggers. They're trying to take Regulus down. Well, if the first set don't do it, hopefully the second set does it. And I did send in the dogs just to do a little bit, cause some havoc there. I do think that the Slaughters probably would have gone away with it and tried to get through, but the doggers was just an added incentive to try to make sure that we could push this and get it all done. And I think in this case here, we're getting down to Proteus's ultimate, so I didn't think that there would be a whole lot of damage that we would have to contend with. So that's exactly what I did. And that was exactly my idea behind that. So just try to get as many units built up there and make sure that they can all get to the core. But the key here was getting Regulus out. Just take him out of the way. Everything else should be clear. Now here, this one was a central keep. And it was an interesting setup because here I do have Gon to contend with. And I do have a Silitu and an Ardea, Carnelian, and a Sarga back here. So when I saw this, one of the things is I knew that Silitu being on the side, I could possibly bomb it, and so this required a little bit of timing. Now, the practical idea here is let's try to get Silitu and Carnelian out of the way, because now without Carnelian being there, then Gon will lose his protection. So that was my idea. So here we go, trying to work on the timing here. So first of all, I'm looking to make sure I have the 3 costs available, release those, make sure that they cut up to the bugs a little bit. So I am sending all 4 bugs out. So if this doesn't take this whole thing down, I'm done for. Okay, so now that I'm getting 3 costs, I slow things down and I'm going to speed things up with the speedster back here. So now I'm going to rush, hopefully the bumps through. And I was lucky in this one. I think I was really lucky because, I mean, Gun did get passive data guide activated, but I was able to take out both Carnelia and Silitu. So now, here the idea now is, okay, now I'm just going to send my tanks in, and hopefully they're able to take Gun out. That's my thought process here. At the same time, taking the damage from these fellows back here. Right, so the Spitster was a little bit too soft, too squishy, so he didn't get even one hit on him. So I'm going to send both these tanks out, and I do hope that they're able to take Gon out, and that's my hope. So then as soon as I see a path clear enough, I'm going to send the Doggos out. And so here is where I was waiting for Gon to go down, and he was not going down. But I got the 10 cast, I sent the Doggos out, and that's pretty much. So in this one here, the dogs eventually did get gone. Maybe I should have released the first 3 earlier. They would have done the damage. Maybe the defenders then get to Ardea, and then maybe, just maybe, I'm able to send the second set of dogs out and finish this off. But unfortunately, I played this wrong at the end, and it got me. Gon's passive probably got me the most, and I was not able to finish. But that was the idea to begin with. It's just trying to get Silitu and Cornelia out of the way, and then we probably make the rest of the composition vulnerable. It's just that I was not able to take Gon down, and so I was defeated on that one. Okay, so this is probably gonna be, this is the last one, I think. So this is battle number 10, and in this one it was actually a little bit interesting because now this is a setup that I'm seeing a lot, being played a lot, which is placing Constance here in the style. So she's doing the healing and also giving increase some inspiration to the Arbor units. So of course, if you do have Proteus and you put him down here, perfect spot for him. Valkyra here on the middle. Now, because he has Dahlia, the bomb idea right away goes out the window. Even during practice rounds, there's too much damage by these flowers being done to try to bomb it. So I'm gonna then release my trusty Pharaoh. And try to get ultimates activated and get those out of the way. Let's send the healer out to help the Pharaoh if he can make it, but he did not, which is fine. But the purpose of it as well was there's the Pharaoh there. Hopefully he can get healed. He can take some of the damage. It just was too late to release it. Now the healer is also getting an advance notice here because I did release my 2 lightning guards. Now the idea here is that hopefully the healers get close enough here so when the lightning guards are taking damage from everybody, or in this case would be Valkyria and Pradius, that he would provide him a little bit more time for the lightning guards to take out Valkyria, because that's who I wanted to take out on this. It was Valkyria. All right, so here we go. So a little bit of healing there. My lightning guards are doing their job, and they actually not only took Valkyria out, they took Constance out, and then this little bugger here had enough muster to turn around and take Dahlia out. So I think that was one that got through. So 1 lightning guard made it through the whole mess. So Pradius, a stronger Pradius would probably have gotten me. There's no question on that. But now that I only have Pradius to contend with, and I only have Rakur to contend with, let's just release the doggos and hopefully one gets through, and that's what does it. And that, folks, were some of my battles for Guild Wars this past week. Hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of the type of strategies that I look for, especially when I look at makeups of certain defenses. Think of the, are they magic damage dealers? Are they physical damage dealers? Which tank am I going against? Is it one that has some type of immunity from a fatal hit? Is it something that I can possibly get through? Or is it something that I can swarm and get past? And there was one example there where you saw everybody piled together. And if it's something like that, a nightmare team, think about using the destroyers because they do AoE damage on the ground units. So if you can get him strong enough to survive, you can probably get past all that bulk and get to the core. Now, in this type of strategies here with this map, you do have to kind of plan ahead a little bit, because that clock will run out on you really quick if you just wait too long to deploy units. So if you have any questions, please post them below in the comment section. On the 2 battles that I lost, if you would have approached it any different, let me know on the comments below. I am always interested to see what other people can draw in terms of methodology and tactology when it comes to this particular battles. Thank you all very much for tuning in and watching. I will see you all next time.